Hello, my deliciously twisted. Welcome back to Velvet Crypt for another horrifying Tuesday. Tonight, we're digging into The Devil's Claim by Maria Kovak. A tight, mean little horror about how sometimes the thing that answers your prayers is the worst possible reply. If you like your scares intimate, tragic, and wrapped in a heavy, be careful what you ask for vibe, get comfortable. This one's a slow, sinking punch.
Welcome to the Velvet Crypt.
Content warning. This story contains sexual content and graphic body injury, emotional abuse, physical decline, and some explicit descriptions of bodily harm. On my intensity meter, this hits high for psychological dread. It's less about jump scare possession tropes and more about what happens when loneliness and yearning make you dangerously available. If that's too close to your limits, consider skipping. If you're still here, I warned you. The Devil's Claim is available in paperback and digital formats and runs about 163 pages. So it's the kind of thing you can devour in a weekend. It lives in the overlapping territory of psychological horror, quiet, claustrophobic, and deeply personal. Anna is our protagonist, a wife carrying low self-esteem and a long history of neglect from her husband, James, who's charming, distant, and flagrantly unfaithful. She wants him to notice her, desire her, choose her again. They move into a new house. A fresh start on paper. But the house has secrets, including the fact that its previous occupant is dead. On the surface, it looks like a possession tale, but beneath that, it's really about surrender. How far will someone give themselves to feel chosen? And how predators circle people who are aching for attention. The real core fear here isn't just some demon taking over a body. It's the trade-off someone makes for the feeling of being wanted, and the way that hunger attracts danger. Anna has endured years of emotional neglect and lack of intimacy, and the horror repeatedly targets that wound. The book keeps asking, what will you sacrifice to feel alive again? The escalation is relentless and has that point of no return quality. It opens with a crushing moment. Anna walks in on James cheating in their bed. And instead of confronting him, she leaves the scene and whispers a wish to something higher. Let him choose me. From there, the house and a disembodied voice begin to press and claw for submission. The isolation grows, the voices grow louder, and Anna begins to physically and mentally wither. By the end, it's spiritual scorched earth. Anna becomes more of a doorway than a person, and the presence, Belial, isn't finished with anyone in the room.
The Asylum.
If you enjoy a character who wastes away in sync with their mental collapse, This book satisfies that appetite in a very dark, deliberate way. What stuck with me most is how Kovak uses the environment and Anna's body as mirrors of the relationship's decay. They repainted and refurbished the house to signify a fresh start after the affair. But up close, the paint peels. The walls have hidden cracks behind picture frames. The same kind of masking that hides damage in a marriage. Anna's bruises, scratches, loss of teeth, and shrinking weight aren't just gore for shock. They're physical representations of the question the book keeps turning over. How much of yourself are you willing to give away? When James slips back into his pattern of absence, Anna starts to listen to the sinister warmth of Belial's voice. Let me in, it says. Let me in. She answers. That moment, the choice to latch onto anything that fills the loneliness inside, is the book's cruelest trick. Because when she reaches for solace, she loses autonomy. Her body and voice become someone else's tool. And she can only watch from inside, like being trapped in a soundproof box. That loss of agency haunted me more than any Exorcist showdown could. By the time you reach the last pages, the aftermath is bleak, devastating, and heartbreakingly sad. I closed the book feeling bruised for Anna, but oddly satisfied that James's future looked a good deal less bright than he might have hoped. The mood here sits comfortably alongside writers like Sarah Gran and Paul Tremblay. Modern, intimate, and morally uncomfortable. So, should you pick this up? If stories about demonic influence that grow out of neglected yearning and desire appeal to you, The Devil's Claim is worth the time. If your horror needs to be about survival and resilience, this might not deliver that catharsis. For me, it's a 10 out of 10. Harrowing, precise, and lingering. If you liked tonight's episode, like, subscribe, and toll the bell. Want to hang out and talk more about horror and dark romance? Join me on Discord. The link's below. Until next time, keep your doors locked and your wishes careful. Good night.